All right, going straight into it today. Loading up the editor. Most folks are not in here yet, so if you're watching this, you're probably watching it on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, click like, share it with your friends, all that good shit. All right, we'll let the editor load up and get to chopping. Oh, I gotta update my calendar. My whiteboard calendar is from last month. Yeah. A lot of stuff on my whiteboard. A lot of stuff to get done. Hey, Regis. Ishiwatari. Hello. Hello, wie geht's? Hey, Shreddy. How are you guys doing? How was your weekend? Tell me all about it. I haven't checked to see if this text is even the least bit helpful on YouTube or whatever. I have to look at that. I apologize. I did not get last Thursday's video uploaded to YouTube. So I'm a slacker. Shreddy, I did check out Terminus Tees. Yeah, they look good. They look like a fairly standard print shop in terms of pricing and things like that. The challenge that we'll have, I dug around some and maybe I missed it. The challenge that we're gonna have is until we're in a position where we want to set up like a shop separate from. Well, let me simplify it. Until we get to a point where we want to handle like fulfillment and everything else, warehousing and all that stuff, independent of whatever printer we're using, we're gonna have to have somebody that does like that basically provides us the entire funnel, beginning to end. So like we will need a service that gives us a web shop that's easily integrated into our website. We're using Squarespace at the moment. It's not even like a site that we built. I did it on Squarespace to save time. Plus they've got things like easy integration of eShops and stuff like that. So we need a shop, we need a warehouse, we need shipping, we need the products. So that's why I've started with print on demand. But basically, services like the one that you showed, like that, I have no doubt that would be the quality that we'd be shooting for in terms of the actual silk screening and product. Back in the day when I had the skate shop, we'd get stickers through somebody called the Sticker Guy. I wonder if he's still around. Probably is. Who did a lot of the stickers for like board companies and stuff. And I pinged a friend of mine, but he was having his birthday over the weekend, and we'll see. He said he was gonna try to hook me up on that front, but yeah. Store Frontier, you've used them for a band, and that's on demand. Oh, that sounds familiar. Let me get that in a tab as well. Pattis, Beaver, Zukin. Hey, what's going on? Well below average. Howdy. Store Frontier. Man, everybody being sick the last few days, plus this shit weather that we're having in Germany, it's really had me like feeling like I was gonna get sick any day now. Like I keep feeling almost sick, but I haven't been sick since February 14th of 2020. So I'd prefer not to get sick now. So it's probably this wonderful German weather. All right, so let's look at some stuff, guys. Let's get right into it. I was doing a little bit of work over the weekend. Tier on the Bard, thank you for resubscribing for 10 months. That is very kind of you. Did some work over the weekend. So got some things to look at and start playing with, but it's taken up until today basically to get to where I could actually get in and look around. So let me do these in order. Switch to scene view. We'll go to this zone, which is going to be renamed soon. The water is acting weird in here. It looks like it's at the right spots here, but when I go into the actual live zone, it is not. So, to walk through a little bit of what I was doing Thursday through now, what I was looking at was essentially we've added a zone that will be between Night Harbor and one of those zones that we'd already been planning on, Glass Flats. And so this zone is essentially the theme, and Hamad's going to be working on this a bit. We don't know that we're going to keep this kind of quasi-residential farmy area as part of the newbie zone here on the north side. If you remember, we've got a newbie zone on the west side that takes you into Shaded Dunes. So newbie zone, then zone line, you go into Shaded Dunes. So I just wanted to put a little buffer like newbie zone as well, but it seemed like it would be cool to kind of have it be like a little more residential feeling, but you still got monsters and stuff to clear in here as a newbie, blah, blah, blah. So Ham's going to work a little bit on what we're thinking here, and, you know, naturally input from the team and etc. And so what I did was I kind of shrank things down wall-wise just so it seemed like a little more casual feature, and then stuff that stuff in there, and then proceeded to build out the rest of the zone. And this zone is meant to be something that, whereas everything else is like elevated up off the water until you get down there, in, you know, the Benz district where it's down on the water and then you go to the harbor, wanted to bring this back down and have it kind of represent the feel and subject matter of like date tree farms and other farming, because, you know, a lot of people ask, they're like, where does Night Harbor get its food? Well, it gets a lot of it just off ships, but it would be nice to kind of get this farm feel. And then there's a quarry up here that Ham had mentioned wanting, and we'll get a little bit more lore from him on that. Hey, Adric. And then, yeah, so we played around a little bit with it. So I tossed this stuff in, and I had no idea what the scale feels like just because I was unable to run the zone until today. So in a few minutes, it'll be the first time I actually run across this zone. I've been able to get into this next zone, which I just kind of stubbed in. And so essentially we come along here, there's a quarry, and then we've got a little hidden area over here, which you'll learn a little bit more about in the lore. It's a place called Surdak La, but you won't be able to get into there for quite a while. It's nestled over here, just kind of hidden out of the way. I used Pattis's little placeholder trees just to kind of get a feel for what this will feel like. I've experienced these trees from this angle a little bit because I've been in this zone, but I haven't spent much time with them, so it'll be nice to get in here and kind of get a feel for scale and stuff. Throwing in a couple buildings just again to help keep a scale reference in here, plus kind of look like the way that feels, and it reminds us that we'll want, you know, farmhouses and other shit as we start to expand this out. And then, so basically we've got this area. So Night Harbor, Newbie Yard. What was the zone name that Hamad just mentioned? He gave a couple options. And I picked one of the two. Sungreet Strand. Sungreet Strand, I think, is the one of the two that he gave that I preferred. So So basically, this zone would be the strand. Little thematic shift and some quarries and mine action over here, and then it moves us into the glass flats. So glass flats is one of two zones that in lore will you'll probably learn a little bit about some epic battles that have gone on here along with some other events. And again, when you look at this, just keep in mind that it's basically me just stubbing stuff in, right? Like starting to block things in so that we can look at it, go through all of the points of interest and look at their distribution and how we want to build the zone up around it. The zone's literally made of like planes, just simple planes that came in and, you know, shaped a little bit, not a lot, because I wanted to get a feel for the actual zone before I did too much work on it. But essentially this should be a, used to be a lake. Belfaster. Howdy. Cotswold. Hey. Mr. Boogles. Thank you for both you subbing and Kagura OP for your follow. Welcome y'all. So anyways, I was able to run in here. Prior to the prior to me cooking dinner, just to start to get a feel. The zones finally came up on the server. But yeah, as I was saying, it's basically just a couple planes and me using and abusing Pattis's little mountain placeholder piece that we have here, and then the wall pieces that we have, and some palm trees. That's about it. So, oh, thanks. Glass flats look like it'd be a good place to have a few scattered skeletons of huge animals. That, oh, what am my monitor? Are you gonna turn back on? Okay. Animals, monsters we don't know exist yet. Yeah, there may be some of those creatures have done some stuff here. And so there's some nice lore that is getting built up and integrates most of these zones. So that was like a half-assed statement. Of course, there's lore that integrates the zones. There's like a through line in the history, dealing with probably those types of monsters and the people that fight them and stuff like that. So, yeah, I was able to get a feel for how long it takes to traverse this zone. I think it maybe sort of, we'll have to play around with it. I'm on the fence. I want to get some measurements on other zones, and figure that out over the next few days. But essentially, this zone will continue this way. Now that I've been in it, I can definitely state that it will continue west. So this is north, this is west, that's south. All of this is north of Night Harbor, and so then the next zone that will be extending across here, taking us into the zone that used to be called Death Valley, will be a zone called Dragon's Run. And I think Dragon's Run's entrance is really supposed, or the entrance into the hilly zone, Telekir, is supposed to be in Dragon's Run, but I put an entrance here because that's what I could access, and plus I think I may have just screwed up on the lore. So, and then what I did was Dragon's Run. Yeah. What I did was I did a super quick, like just kind of hilly canyon zone. And yeah, threw it in here just to have. And because I wanted to basically have enough to just kind of start looking around and getting a feel for how some of the scales working, and then get everything connected. And tonight we'll probably work on getting some zone lines hopefully working and shit like that. So yeah. We got this zone as well. And yeah, let's get to work. Keith said you could probably make some helper tools to drop in and calculate walking distance. Probably. That sounds very sophisticated and professional. I like to basically play it by ear, like kind of wing it. It's funny. It's how I cook too. But it turns out all right. It's funny. I took let me go bring up this image. Like mentally I had this rough scale in mind, and then when I actually looked at one of our zones relative to it, I think as long as the copy paste didn't do anything weird, that I got pretty damn close with regards to what I was picturing. So let's go. We'll see how this works. So if you're looking at these zones, that's what we just ran through here. And this is the old Death Valley. Like this was, what, maybe the second or third zone that we put together last year? Maybe even, probably last year, early last year. So when I just copy pasted it in, just kind of see how these were coming along. Strangely enough, I mean in theory, if we just put Dragon's Run between these, they'd be roughly where they're supposed to be in the world, oddly enough. How weird is that? How crazy. And then after, so basically there's one more zone to the north of all of this. So we probably won't screw with Dragon's Run tonight. We'll just play with this stuff that's in here and see if we can get things working. And then I'll add Dragon's Run and maybe we'll have that by Thursday. And I think I'm just going to completely, well, not completely, probably like I'll start with like a 60% redo and then have it slowly become like a 90% or 100% redo on Death Valley, which needs to get renamed anyways, because essentially all of these deserty zones are Death Valley. Whereas this hilly region that's got zones embedded in it is Telekir. And then we've got all of the zones that go along Twilight Bay. Will there be multiple newbie yards around Night Harbor, or will everybody be funneled out into the same place? So there will be 2 large newbie yards, and then there will be mini newbie yards inside Night Harbor. And newbie content, including combat content inside Night Harbor. Like if you're going to be killing rats and bugs and shit, you can do that in a city as well, right? So... Oh no, I've got bugs in my basement. Oh man, there's rats around these docks, right? So, makes sense, right? Demon injected. Thank you for 6 months. I always hear, I think Pantera whenever I hear her name. Demon injected. Freeport had a big rat issue? Yeah. See, it happens. Hey, T-Con. Alright, so what are we gonna do? Alright, we're gonna see if we can actually load into one of these zones. I've got to set up safe points for all the zones. So let's go here and let's watch me try to get into these zones. It'll be amusing. What song am I thinking of from Pantera that would make me think of your name that way, Demon Injected? Watch, there's a Pantera song called Demon Injected and I'm just a dumbass. Yeah, let's try this guy. Let's see what happens. I think I'm gonna fall through the world and stuff, probably. Alright, fly mode enabled. Okay, so I'm in Night Harbor Fields. I forgot there's like a weird issue in here with the water. I'm gonna need some programming brains to help me, probably. Understand why the water is being so goofy on me. Clients, running man, that's me. Let's go to scene. Let's fix this GM on. Set, wait, time set 6 a.m. Oh, so the problem is I'm underwater and I should not be. So that was a weird bug that I noticed earlier. So let's go to here, go to there, and zoom out and see if we can fix this. Alright, so that's good. That's a start. Now let's grab ourselves. That's me. Alright, let's see if we can move me without moving me through the zone line. Oh, did I do it? I did. Frick. Zone, Night, Harbor, Fields. Let's start this process all over again. Alright, let's do this again. So let's go back to Night Harbor Fields. In scene. I mean, I guess since this is local, I could kill the water. Alright, let's just do this real quick since we're already in here. I don't know why the water's so high. Or is the world so low? I don't know. Water seems to be where it's supposed to be, right? Maybe the world's so low. I mean, look at that transform up there. It's hidden. It's hidden underneath the event thingy. So if I put it on a y-axis, or on the y-axis, I put it at 0, it's there, which that seems wrong. And rather than just fix it right now, let's just do this. We'll try to get me in here where I can run around, and if I botch this again, then we'll maybe actually just fix this real quick. How's that sound? Okay, good. Where am I? That's me right there. Alright. So I keep screwing up and pulling myself through the zone line volume. This should be high enough to miss it. Alright. Yeah, I've made it over it successfully, I believe. What we can do now is we could just be, I think, fancy about this, and I don't want to get too close there in zone. Where am I at? I'll just become me again. I'll look down. Oh, that's way over there. So let's cheat some more. Nicodemus! Thank you for resubbing and for hanging out with us. 7 months. When I first started watching Twitch, I would see the messages where someone's like, so-and-so subscribes for 44 months, right? And I didn't realize that meant that they've subscribed over the course of 44 months. I thought the individual was just like plopping down 44 months worth of subs at a time. I was like, holy shit. Everybody wants to duel me. We'll have to line y'all up for when we'll have to actually put duel into M&M so that you guys can do it. It's not going to be very exciting. It's going to be anticlimactic. I'm not what you call very good at video games. Banjo, I'm glad I'm not the only one then. Oh shit, I'm not over the zone line. I forgot that I faked myself out. Because I don't actually let you into... Oh my god, my voice is gone and I haven't even started. Let you into the newbie zone. Alright. Stream's over. Can't talk anymore. Sorry guys. Good night. JK. Will PvP be consensual in M&M? Yes. Yes. It will be consensual and sensual. It will be consensual, sensual PvP. Can I PvP you? Yes. Can I cast on you? Yes. But I also dual wield. Oh, that's dirty. That's too far. That's too far. No dual wielding. Is that backstabber? You just happy to see me? But you still have to ask first. Okay. Am I under the world now? Of course I am. I'm not, Dargeth, I'm not even gonna read that out. That's dirty. That's dirty number. Dark Side. You've been busy, had COVID for a while. Looks good from the last time you guys had. Just got the server working stable. Yeah, it's been a little bit then. Glad to hear that you're doing alright now. Alright, so looks like we're in game now. I have no idea what happened to my my textures. So let's go with it. Alright, so this is me without any move rate increase. And that's a line that needs to get fixed. So special hops. I like what you did there. Are you a hoperator? Holy shit, you got a character now in trees? Oh, we have so much more than that. You've been going for quite a while. We have so much more that I don't even think if we were just to spend the time over the next hour and a half showing you the stuff that's in here, that we would be able to show it all. So we've had a lot going on, Dark Inside. Last name Hopkins? Oh, I thought it's like special hops. I thought it was like a beer thing. That works too. What happened to Tic Tac Man? You guys have not been around for a while. So we're running through a couple of new zones. Ooh, look at that. Man, I'm not a fan of working on multiple planes and connecting them the way that I've been connecting them. Pattis, I'm just going to tell you that right now. Alright, but we'll come back and fix that. Somebody remind me. Capsule is adorable. I love the capsules. Very well animated. Alright, so let me... First of all, let me get a coordinate here. And I'll save that to see... actually... If I'm gonna get one, let me just get right here in the middle. That'll be a nice generic place to start. Dark Inside and anybody else that may have missed the last several months of streams, we even have, I mean, because if you haven't seen this stuff, then you haven't seen our YouTube either. So be sure to check out our YouTube. We've got several people who have been streaming now on the team. These are their names, so you can follow them. We got Nick, we've got Pattis, we got Goblin, we got Zukin. Ollie's got a couple videos up, so if you go to our YouTube, you can see stuff that we've been working on. You can bounce around and catch up pretty quickly. Hey Dram. And then if you're not in our Discord, be sure to hop in there as well. There's like 700 of you in there now. It's crazy. T-Con said, very excited to play this game in a couple years. You guys are pulling in such awesome community. I know that reflected communities on the server as well. I sure hope so. And I sure hope that you don't have to wait a couple years. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So this will be my first time running through this zone as a character. I've just been working on throwing this stuff in here. So let me do a couple things. I think I probably died at some point. I don't know where my corpse is, so let me summon myself some food and water. Before we get started, so I can run at the appropriate speed. If you haven't been here in a while, the music that you're listening to in the background, let me know if it's too loud or quiet or whatever, is actually our music that has been made for us by one of our wonderful new team members. He is he only touring on the weekends? I'll have to check. Robert is also a musician, so I think he just started a new tour as well. Yeah, this is our OST. Will there be lunar cycles? Some nights are darker and lighter than others? Yes, Dargoth, we will be doing hopefully a bunch of stuff with the lunar cycle. It should also impact spawning of different things as well. Yeah, and so if you go to our YouTube channel, if you look for the soundtrack playlist, you'll get 3 songs that are up now. Yeah, Dark Inside. It's here, let me bring the sun back up. Cool. All right. So, let me get these coordinates. Let me put them over in my little storage area where I've been storing these. Robot. And then in a field save spot? Question mark. Cool. Alright, let me get my stopwatch out while we're running through here. We'll just do a quick run across the zone and see what that feels like. Hey Isan, what's going on, dude? Alright. Going for a run. This is normal run speed, right? Yep. Leaving the city. Going through the fields. Do you have things like endurance and hunger? Yes, we have hunger and we have thirst. You are hungry, you are thirsty, you are out of food and drink. My ex used to sing that all the time when she'd look over at my screen, because I was always out of food and drink. What does hunger and thirst do? For the time being, it slows your movement rate down. impacts. I'm trying to think. Impacts regions and I think makes you weaker, but we have a milestone coming up that'll be focused just on those types of elements. So the base system's in, but how we ultimately, like basically we want to lean into a lot more of the RPG elements. And so weight restrictions and all of the things that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is such a pain in my ass. Those things we're going to be playing with them. Reagents and food and drink and carry capacity and inventory setup. Like, what does inventory look like? Tree size seems okay. We'll come back to those though. For those of us that love to be inconvenienced. Exactly. It's the popcorn between the teeth that makes it feel oh so good when you finally get it out. Stamina bar. I think we need to talk about what stamina is hooked to. There's a whole discussion that needs to be set up there, and that's really one that I want to have at a minimum. Nick and Ollie be a part of. Can't wait to see the texture skins on the trees. I think they look really good with that painted look, Cotswold said. Yeah, it's funny. I almost, Marie owes us some textures, and I was actually thinking over the weekend, I was like, maybe I should just get her to do these trees. Oh, I don't think they have collision. Oh. I don't want to stop myself since I'm timing this. How are you handling fast travel? Personally, liked the boat in EQ, Brendan said. So we have boats, which will function in a very similar way. Want to also have big rivers and other bodies of water that aren't necessarily easy to cross. So that'll be one of those things that we play with as well in terms of swimming. But I would really love for there to be us to have like rivers have some actual game effects to them, so you can be pushed with a current and tussled about and drowned and stuff. And the main reason for that is I'd really love the use of like actually make you want to use those little boats that you can find, or take a ferry. Yeah, so don't worry, we'll have corpse runs. Matter of fact, corpse run, we may have multiple types of corpse run, and also we've talked about stuff like when you die, you may leave your spell book on your corpse. Some little things that we're going to play around with that make it even corpsier. But we were talking about it, and I really think it'd be fun, in air quotes, fun, for your mount to be killable. And it leaves a corpse as well. And you can't just like pick that damn thing up and throw it in your backpack. They're heavy. And you've got a lot of shit that you've put on the mount. That's why you have a mount, because they carry things. So you would actually have to get your mount rezzed as well. Cosmetic pets. Yep. They can get killed. You'll have to find a druid or somebody to res your fluffy little cat that's tagging along. That type of thing. Dark Inside said, object-oriented programming is a pain to learn from scratch. Yeah, that's why I have not done it. Okay, I'm going to stop right around here just because I know I put a zone line in here somewhere. And I don't want to hit it yet. Oh, thanks, Darkwith. Let me see. Oh, that's right, because I don't have a premium account for Eminem, so it keeps asking me if I'm still there and then turning off the music. All right, so we'll come over here to the ruins of Surak La. Can players loot bone chips from a fallen companion's corpse? Asking for a necromancer friend. That's an interesting question. Can you skin and otherwise disassemble your friend's corpse? Probably not. All right, so the scale on this isn't horrible. It's meant to be fairly subtle. But we could probably bring this down a fair bit deeper now that I'm looking at it. So let me actually get some notes going. Notepad. Let me write some notes. So you climb hills with your arms extended like that in real life? Well, and you're a professional hill climber, so it means we're doing it right. Regarding corpse runs, how are you thinking of approaching rest spells? Which classes will have them? So clerics will have them for sure. And I'm going to leave it at that for now. So Fred and Brendan, by the way, welcome. Glad you're here. There have been some ideas kicked around for other types of res as well that I think are interesting and we should really discuss as we're going forward. Like there was an idea, I can't remember if it was Ali or somebody from the community that said, mentioned like a necro temporary res, where basically it's just a buff. So you're res, but you're dying. You've only got, whatever, 15 minutes or something to get yourself somewhere else. Did EQ have a temporary res like that? I didn't think they did. Did they? I don't remember that during my time there. Druids should get to reincarnate and bring their allies back as chipmunks and skunks. That's hilarious. Jackie Alcine, welcome. All right, so we've got a zone line coming up here that hasn't been set up yet. That's why I didn't bother to go across it. So, because it just put me in the next zone in a weird spot. All right, so that was about a 5-minute run. Let me write that time down so I've got it. Got it in my notes. Fred Winkle, thank you for the follow. Sometimes I have trouble with words. So that was south to north in fields. No move rate enhancements, and that was right around 5 minutes of a little 5-minute run. So let's try again, but with a little bit of a move rate buff and see what that feels like. And then we'll look around a little bit more. So cast Spirit of Wild. No, not Spirit of Wild. Speed of Wild. Why would I think Spirit? That's so weird. Where'd I even get that from? All right, let me reset the clock and press auto run and synchronize my watches. It's funny, when I used to like check out EverQuest zones when I was on the team, I actually used, we had actual, that was back before iPhones and stuff. I had to use an actual stopwatch. Is experience death a thing upon death in addition to a corpse? Carthage 86, yes. That is the plan for now. One idea that I mentioned, I don't know if we'll go with it, but one idea that I mentioned was the idea of a bit of a buff. If you spend X amount of time, you know how there's the XP bonus after you've been gone for so long. It started as like a XP debt, and then Blizzard just kind of swapped it, right? Not debt, it was a penalty. or some shit, right? Like after playing X amount of time, you got less experience and they just switched it to be a bonus. Or when you came back in, you got a bonus, blah, blah, blah. Weird psychology, but it makes a lot of sense and it worked. Anyways, what I was thinking was if you've basically been in a city or otherwise gotten a buff that you could maybe get from certain types of camps or whatever. And by camps, I don't mean camping monsters, but like campfire. But say you're in a city, you stay in an inn for X amount of time, you get this buff on you. For as long as you've got that buff and it's a limited duration, if you die, then you take a little bit less of an XP hit. So it's a little bit of an insurance policy that you can take with you. Again, we'll be looking at a number of different things to get you to go back and use the city fairly regularly, or use different mechanics that we put in to act as a reasonable substitute for the city, but does not invalidate the need to return to towns or certain waypoints or whatever, right? We want the cities to always feel bustling, and so we've got a lot of ideas on that front. And so some of the limitations with regards to carrying capacity and where you can sell items and all that stuff will be done with that in mind. Oh, I think I might have just been talking on my ass. Experience that when you say experience that, I assume experience loss. I might not be using the right terms these days. Sorry. I'm old and I'm kind of out of date on stuff. Necrosis should be able to reanimate players, but it should set up like a debt deal with the devil, and the experience from the next 5 to 10 kills from the reanimated player gets to go to Necro. That seems, for some reason, that immediately makes me think that that's exploitable in some interesting way. Dargath, I was responding to you. All right. Hold on 1 second. All right, so 3 minutes, 38 seconds. All right. We'll call this Tuesday Notes. Shards of Dahlia does XP debt, where you basically build up a pool of debt that must be paid off before the XP continues to advance your level, as opposed to just losing the experience. Yeah, I don't know. What's the... Am I missing the obvious benefit to doing it that way? Oh, the idea is to prevent de-leveling. Nah, I think it's... I don't know. I think it's more interesting just to de-level. Am I wrong on that? Alright, so let's go look around this zone. I don't know. XP loss leading to de-leveling, leading to, especially on those critical levels, like you just got new spells or whatever. Yeah, you just said the opposite. You just said nothing worse than getting at a level and then being immediately afraid to lose it. I think the opposite's true. Nothing more thrilling than getting a level and wanting to get that little bit of buffer in there so you don't lose it. That's a new goal, right? You immediately get a goal when you get a level. Get a little buffer. Alright, so I've got the water turned off or moved out of the way for the time being because something is jacked in here, which was causing it to render above everything else, so we've got to figure out what's going on there. We'll take a look at it. Let me write a note. Look into water in NH fields. Palm trees, Maria. We've got the... Oops. Why did I do that? I'm actually in here playing. Saving doesn't matter. Palm tree scale seems okay to me. They're a bit uniform still, but that's not a horrible scale. Some of them could even probably be a little bit bigger. In your opinion, you feel like de-leveling is toxic? What does that mean? Why would it be toxic? It's not on Twitter. It's just a thing that happens. It's a penalty. This game, I think a lot of our design decisions may fall into the toxic category then, and we don't mean them to be. We're not trying to be mean to you. We're just trying to give you the thrill of success when you get done. I think he means de-leveling mini levels to be overpowered at lower levels. Did I miss something up there? Gary, did you see the problem that I was having when I came in here? Basically, it was weird. I don't know if everything, for whatever reason, the water thing that we're using, was it Crest, Ocean Crest or whatever? It was over the zone, so I had to like grab it and pull it below everything on the scene so that we could actually see what was going on. All right, so the good news is the zone is definitely not too big. Gary, it may just be on my end, to be honest. Nicodemus, that was an excellent movie. It was a decent short story as well. And then the quarry can be much deeper, but I need to... Basically, I need to figure out how to make it so that the water doesn't show up immediately. Dargeth said, I wouldn't describe it as toxic, but I feel like it diminishes the achievement you feel from getting a level because the achievement doesn't feel done until it's safe, which is a subjective value rather than a definitive one. I think it gives you two achievements. You achieve your level and then you achieve your buffer. Dark Inside, I hear what you're saying, but I've got to say, essentially, the key is to not have that happen. Because unlike stocks, experience shouldn't only ever go up. If it only ever goes up, then well, I'm not even saying get good, right? Because I'm not a very good player. I'm a pretty bad player of video games, but that's why I feel so awesome when I actually do the simplest shit. It's like, oh my god, I killed a thing in Elden Ring. Dark Inside, has it been a problem for you in the past? And I'm not trying to call you out or anything, like, I don't want to, if it has, maybe it sucks to answer that or whatever, but like, has that happened to you a lot? because to me, I've definitely felt that feeling of, oh, I leveled. I don't want to die. I mean, that happens still. I just finally got like a little druid. She's, what level is she? 17, I think. When did I get Spirit of Wolf? Like 14? Something like that. Anyways, as soon as I got those spells, I was like, let me get some buffer in here so I don't die. Let me try that. Zajiku? Zajiku. If I pronounce that right, let me know. Welcome. Said, hey Shawn, longtime viewer and discovered your channel through EQ. First time seeing you live online. Thanks for all the interviews and behind the scenes info. Very much appreciated. Well, thank you very much. That's an interesting thought. Experience Nicodemus saying death should be like EQ with XP penalty, or maybe perhaps more like Elden Ring. Maybe XP is dropped at the location of death for players to regain via corpse run. What do you guys think about that? Isan, thank you for your generosity. Dark Inside said, yes, it's been very much when I leveled after being this hard mob, then had like 10 health and somehow random mob got aggroed from me being in a radius of the mob, then get killed. But how often did that happen? Developer Dad said, middle ground, XP debt, but no de-leveling. I don't know, man. I think I'd rather have de-leveling and no debt. But I could be wrong on that. And the cool thing about all of this is we will figure it out together. Anything I say today is liable to change tomorrow. All right, so let me hit this zone line and get put somewhere wacky. Let's see what happens. There's a zone line coming up here. Let me check line of sight on some of this stuff. So, because all of this in the background is just facade work. Group XP debt. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. It's bad enough when someone screws up in a MOBA. Quite a bit more than I thought, but I guess maybe I need to check your surroundings. Situational awareness, Dark Inside. Maybe XP debt transferable and create a new emergent economy. Make XP debt transferable. I will assume your debt. I will eat your sins. I will eat your debt. I'm a debt eater. Oof, that's an interesting ability. Alright, so I've hit the zone line now. It's gonna break. Alright. Fly mode enabled. Oh god, that's not exploitative at all. Yeah. I can't see, I could not see what would go wrong with that, ever. I think one of the reasons why it's okay to get your experience back in Elden Ring the way it is it's just, I don't know about you, but I think it's a hell of a lot easier for me to die in that than in even our MMO. Alright, so let me find the safe coordinates and see if they work. They might. We'll see. I haven't had a lot of luck today on this, so go to 3357 31348. And I can't see shit because it's nighttime. And where am I? Well, that's not where I thought I'd be. So let's just cheat and figure out why that isn't. where it should be. I mean, this is pretty, being out in the middle of nowhere, but it's not helpful. Alright, so scene. And scene. I swear those are for glass plants. And why am I way out there? So let me... What is my location? It put me in negative. What? And that's weird. So I did a go to, and I'm here. Do a loc, and I'm here. What's up with that, Gary? That's really interesting. So my go-to is not taking me. Well, I'm gonna move myself, Phantom Rogue. I'm gonna grab myself. I'm gonna move myself over there, and then we'll see if we can figure out what's going on. Well, so now you're bringing up PvP, which isn't a focus for us. It's not a big focus, but we can definitely discuss de-leveling in the context of PvP. I know that's a thing. I was GM on Talon Zek for a little while. Let me bring myself up pretty far so I don't trigger the zone line, and then let me put myself down. So try it with a negative number instead. Oh, I'm afraid. Let's just go to me real quick. Oh god, that's way over there. So let me just move this real quick. All right, and back to me. Low coordinates formatted as X, Y, Z respectively. Yeah, they should be. I think that's consistent with what we see. Like if we look, yeah, everything's X, Y, Z. You probably can't see it. It's under here, but yeah. One of the things that's interesting is you can't just do shift spacebar to go maximize and unmaximize screen. So because we have jump, I think that's what's causing it to happen. Turn off fly. All right. All right. So this is the other side of the zone line. I'm in this zone. What I'm gonna do, probably not tonight. What I'll do tomorrow is I'm probably gonna have to rework the coordinates and stuff anyways. Just because what I feel I need to do is go into these zones and then zero them out. I've done that with at least one zone, and maybe that's what's caused some problems. But what I do is basically just grab all the assets and then move everything sort of back to 000, because the way this was originally designed was I just kept working from Night Harbor all the way out. And what's essentially one big zone, and then I lopped off the extraneous stuff. So let me get my look real quick. Alright, so it's, I mean, what I was trying to go to makes sense, because here we are, it's like 3420, 31, 385, and what was I shooting for before? 357, 31, 348. Hey Secrets, what's up? Keith, you want to come in and fix it all? Okay. I cannot do that for you. Alright, so this should be a safe location. So yeah, it might be something weird with how big the number is or something. That'll be another thing that I need to talk to Gary about, or Ollie when he's back. But what we can do is try to what we can do is basically try to... Oh, I wonder if I can fix it in the opposite direction. So... Oh, but I'd have to update server and everything. Alright, so I'll get the lokes for all of this stuff, and we'll get this fixed by Thursday. By Thursday, we should be able to zone naturally between these. Alright, so that's been nice. It's been nice to run around and see some of these areas. This zone I'm going to make probably a little bit bigger because there's some big stuff that we want to fit in here. Big things popping. And then, ooh, on the other side, so north of here, the one zone that we haven't talked about so far. Because we're in Glass Flats now. We just came out of the Strand. Glass Flats, I'll be adding Dragon's Run to the west here. When you zone, will the name be briefly displayed anywhere? Carthage asked. I would like for it to be. I think that'd be really nice. I think there are a number of things we can do to make that zoning experience, though it's super quick, but actually make it feel like both old school zoning, but then also make it nice. It should be a nice experience. So yeah, you should get the zone name that you're entering, and you know, just the way it maybe fades in and things like that very quickly, not to hamper what's going on or any of that, but just make it a little bit fancier. Is the Running Man model just for testing animations, or is this the actual human model to add textures on? Nicodemus asked. This is the human model that we have. It's just something's broken. It just started happening like last week, I think. Where when you die or zone, this has happened. I'm not quite sure what's up. Oh, this seam is not good. So yeah. Note to self in Notepad. Seems near NH. Let me get a loc real quick. And what's that along? Broken texture thing is related to the texture swap stuff, Zukin said. Okay. Yeah, but it's the result of the UV change. Okay. Yeah, we're still wrapping up the character customization work that we started last month. Hit save. We have not run through Telekir, so let's do that real quick, and then we'll basically go back into the editor. What? That actually worked. Did I actually zone into a reasonably good spot? And what's my loc? Well, that's a big loc too. So that's a big number as well, but this one actually worked. Okay. Well then. I think once we get in here, I can make a lot of this. Oh, we'll have to play around with it. Oh, bouncy. Bounce, bounce. What's going on there? So we'll wind up having Mount Akir as a visible landmark throughout the zone. We had talked a little bit about the idea of basically carving in, so it's not just, we're not just going up in elevation the way I tried to do it in Fallen Pass, but just coming in carved down to create some more nice valleys and stuff in here. So play with that as well. I think this is the one zone that Ham has not fired over all the points of interest for. So, okay, cool. Well, since some of you have not been around in a while, let's go look at some other stuff. How's that sound? We'll hop on a different character first of all. See what you think of that. Can imagine giant skeletons walking in the distance of the zone that we're in before. I could imagine some stuff like that as well, probably. Right, connect. I'm naked. Why am I naked? Because I don't have any clothing. So if you guys have not been around for a while, this is not the new model though, is it, Zukin? I'm gonna guess based on posture and head alone. Make myself invulnerable since I'm level 1. But yeah, if you guys have not been around for quite a while, then you've probably missed all sorts of stuff. If the last thing you saw were capsules, then you probably haven't seen... Well, we've got first-person view now. A lot of folks were asking about that. So we've got first-person view. We got Flappy Bat. We got skeletons. We got beetles. We've got some crocodiles. Somewhere. Fatty McFlappy face. Crocodiles over here. Everything seems like it's moving too fast, though. Like, I could see that crocodile moving that fast if he's swimming. I'm not seeing no damn crocodile walking that fast. Gliding beetles? Yes. That's what they are. That's what we named them. Glide beetles. Look at that skeleton. He's holding a weapon. We've got snakes. No, that was a shadow of a bat. We've got... No, that's also a shadow of a bat. We've got snakes, damn it. So anyway, this is the Night Harbor zone that we had been using for quite a while. Just kind of iterating on here. We've got a new Night Harbor zone that we've been working on. Oh, here you can see somebody with their actual clothes on, even though, you know, they're tinted pretty dark, so. Alright, good job, guards. So we've got, because we don't have a female model in yet, we still have Capsule Woman. If you look here, you can't really see it because these guys are tinted so dark. But the work that we've been doing over the last few weeks is taking these armors that were painted on as one piece. Let me see if I can... I'll look in the database. I'll summon myself some armor. 1 second so that you can see it. Item. Data. Let me just find some What's good? Generic. SI. SI. Oh, legs. All right, we'll start there. Definitely have cheat codes. All right, so if you look at what's going on here, one, the UVs weren't lining up well, even though these UVs look, were they always this bad before you guys fixed them, Zukin? I don't remember them being quite this crazy. But anyways, what we've been doing is making sure all the UVs look good, while also Goblin's gone in and repainted all of these pieces so that they're in separate layers, so that the new chainmail. Have you guys seen the new? Let's see. I've got it. So the UV's referring to how the texture is mapped to the model. So essentially how it's yeah, that's the old texture on the old UV set because new ogre has been pushed. Really, for some reason I did not remember those UVs being that misaligned. It feels like maybe to me it looks like something broke, but maybe it's like just the new stuff looks so much better, but it feels like this got pushed around. Anyway, if you look here, it's a little blurry, but you'll see in a second. Hold on. So it's been broken into layers. So now the leather's separate from the metal, separate from the straps, separate from the see the emblem, like all of the gilding and stuff is separate. That's separate from the chainmail or the mail, depending on how precise you want to be. All right, so look at how nice that looks. Why separate them? To allow for greater customization. So if you look at this on its own, if we were to take off the leather straps, which honestly I'm not sure why they're there, it's something Maria had painted them, and that's fine, she got creative. But if we look at this without the gilding, then we've just got plate. Our system is set up now so that we can tint each one of these layers separately if we want to tint them, and we can apply them separately. And so, in theory, what we could do is we could have this breastplate that's got no gilding, and no straps, and then we can tint the breastplate to be, slightly different colors, like it could be darker, or bronze, or whatever. And so that's good. And then we can apply different ornamentation to it, to the same breastplate. So in theory, just with a different ornamentation, we get some different looks in there, put a little tinting on there, put some tinting on the ornamentation, right? So in theory, it should create a bit of a multiplicative effect with regards to end results. So if we look here, and then new chainmail underneath it, that kind of thing, and then a lot of work was done to clean up just how it maps to the character and all of that. So if you haven't checked out the latest update, you really should, and you should be on our mailing list so that you don't miss it. We're at like 1,200 people on the mailing list, which is nice. So there's a lot in there to check out. So we've been doing a lot of work on the new new Night Harbor. Yeah, let's just look at some of these. So essentially we've got a blockout, and then Goblin has been doing some concepts, painting over the blockout. Here's a legit concept that then Pattis is turned into 3D. We've put in there. More concepts from Goblin, which then Pattis / Harrison has been turning into 3D. We'll zone into the zone in a second. So a bit of work going on. I won't show you all of it. You should just go check it out. All right, so this is Shaded Dunes where Night Harbor is still attached. Old school. What we're going to do now is we're going to zone into Night Harbor. The new zone. Let's see what time of day it is. We have to change it. I've been changing time of day so much that all the zones are out of whack. Oh, maybe zone in. We'll see. All right, we did. Cool. Let's fix time of day. I guess not. Nighttime changes some mobs' behavior, right? Yeah. Even in the last zone we were in theory, there are 2 versions of the skeleton. I think the problem that we have at the moment, though, is that Ollie needs to add the functionality so that when time switches, it depops the old population to clean up and then brings a new pop in. So that's not currently working. But in the Shaded Dunes newbie yard, during the day, the skeletons are kind of slow. Their eyes don't glow, and they're not aggressive. At night, they walk around normal, and their eyes glow, and they are both aggressive and social. So let's fly. Let's turn into a bat first. Unless you guys want to keep looking at ogre. I'll just fly as an ogre for now, and then you can let me know. Nighttime skeletons are more social. Got it. Yeah, well, I mean, it's nighttime. That is the time to be social. Like a little skeleton party. So for those of you that have not been around for months and months, this is the new Night Harbor that we're plotting out with actual concepted, legit assets. There's a great breakdown video on our YouTube. Couple breakdown videos. I think there's at least 1 or 2 where we're actually all on a call together and talking about the various districts and everything that's going to go into it. So it's a bit bigger than it was before. Definitely a lot more intricate. Then we've got the newbie yard, which would be sectioned off from the rest of Shaded Dunes. So a lot of what you've seen out there before will be back beyond that. In just a separate zone. Longest and slowest jump ever. Yeah. It reminds me of the was it the super jump ability or whatever in City of Heroes. I think we also had it in DC Universe. Is it okay to ask about what building is what in general terms, like shop, guild, trainer? Yeah. Absolutely, Nicodemus. Alright, so... So this is an example. This is a type of guild hall. Keep in mind that I'm a big ass giant ogre. You know what I could do? Alright. Now that we're looking at buildings, they'll be more impressive if I'm smaller. Let me see if I can hop into the gnome. I'm pretty sure I have a gnome. The gnome is not animated last I looked, though, so we'll probably just zoom around in a T-pose. Can you shrink the ogre? Eventually, but I don't have a shrink spell handy. I don't think we have a shrink spell yet. I could be wrong on that. Oh. Enter. Oh. I'm up here. Not sure why I'm up here, but... Yeah, no worries. No worries, Pattis. Yeah, unfortunately, Pattis has been sick. Invuln. Cool. No, at least I can't fall to death. Excuse me. Oh shit, I fell. We've got these beautiful buildings here. So, this is the upper tier. We've got a couple of gnome lovers on the team. Developer dad. We've got at least one other person on the team that's got some very strong feelings about gnomes. Goblin said, I'm probably going to do some concepts at about 3, by the way. So be sure to keep an eye out. Goblin will be streaming, doing some concept work. You can find Goblin here. Look in chat. So these buildings, the guild that runs this city and most of the commerce on the continent, they've got a garrison up here, and they've got, you know, official buildings for different business dealings, etc. Wizard tower up here. It either looks like an 8-bit rocket ship or something else. And again, more stuff blocked in here. Your taste in races seems to change with age. I used to love dark elves, now prefer gnome halfling. Not sure what happened. You mellowed out, got a little less edgy. It happens. I'm right there with you. My GM character was a dark elf just because I loved the EverQuest dark elf plate. The plate armor was so nice on the dark elf with the little horns and stuff on the helm. Plus I was pretty edgy. I was in my mid-20s, but I still dyed my hair black. I had hair. Now I've got to wear the beanie so that oh, it's dark in here. What happened? Did my light never come on? Has it looked like this the whole time? I didn't even think about it. There we go. Now we got some nice forehead shine. I think once the hairline gets to here, it's time for our gnomes. That's my view on things. If you guys haven't been here in a while, also, you probably don't realize I'm wearing my Monsters and Memories beanie. All rights reserved. All right, so we have a bank here. Seems banky. Look how fast it looks when I'm in first person. The bank's there. Got an inn over here. We'll go there in a minute. We were just in the guild hall over there. Yeah. This is a bathhouse. A bathhouse. Mm-hmm. I guess that's where the bathing goes on. But yeah. Gotta have a bathhouse in an MMO. For the RP. What kind of RP are you gonna do in the bathhouse? Alright. Calm down. And get our cooking on. Clean role playing. Good job, Beaver. That's what I would expect from someone named Beaver. Bathhouse stream. Oh, we could rake in the money. Just wait. Yeah, we actually have to do a bathhouse stream. That's going to be great. Cellar down here. This is where you can probably kill some rats and beetles and shit. Earn some copper pieces with the innkeeper, maybe. Oh my god, it just keeps going. Just thinking 100% there have to be rats on it? No, that's what this was built for. Per Ollie's specifications, Harrison got right on it. Those barrels are floating. You need it. Yeah, running around as a gnome, you get to see some. You get to see all the bugs. Rat cellar. There was a rat album, R-A-T-T, I think it was called, Out of the Cellar. When I was a very young man, I had that cassette tape. I'm pretty sure. Oh, I snuck out the window. You can't hold on to a gnome. A gnome's gonna get places. Look at that shit. You weren't expecting that, were you, Harrison? Harrison, did you know I could do this? Oh, you can't catch me. I know all the secrets. You can't cage a gnome. Ah, I'm sneaking into your inn, son. Zukin said he did that the first time he put a gnome in. Zukin's ahead of all of us, as usual. Ogres in shambles, yeah, ogres. He's not even getting his damn hand through there. Rosablade. I appreciate that comment and that sentiment. We're seeing gnome passive in full effect, exactly. Alright, so this is this zone? Yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hop out of here and we're gonna actually look at some zones in the editor. We're gonna see see about doing some stuff. First thing I need to look at is figure out what is going on with that water. It doesn't look like this when we're actually in here, right? Yeah, the water looks normal here. So I'm not sure why it seems... Is the water volume in a weird spot? I don't know that there's even a water volume in here. Oh, I guess there is a water volume in here. So these are from before. Does the water volume actually do anything with the Crest Ocean? asset? You'd pay to play the game as it is right now, Fred? Fred, your last name's gonna mess with me every time I try to say it. It's the WR together. Fred Wrinkle. Like, I actually I've got to put a gap in there, because going straight from Fred to Wrinkle is gonna be a tough one for me. So, we do need a water volume. Fred's good? Alright, Fred. Usually have John save me when things go wrong with the water. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to have to ask John as well. But while we're in here, we might as well rename this to River. River water volume. We don't need ocean anymore. Let's get rid of it. We don't need sewers anymore. Let's get rid of that. Let's make this bad boy big. Also, I realize there's no floor under here, which is probably problematic, as the kids say. And so, let's go ahead and do this. Getting in here and actually doing some work over the weekends got me doing things like remembering, you know, the shortcuts for shit, which it's been a while in Unity. Oh, we may actually need more than one water volume, because this thing's yeah, we'll need more than one water volume to get all this to line up, but let's go ahead. What are we looking at her? This is saying that... Where should it be? Is this what's going on? That's kind of interesting. Yeah, there's like these things that John does with it, the like, splines or something. Alright, so depth cache. Like, this is all way high-tech stuff that I haven't really messed with. These splines? I don't even know. And in theory, we can't even see this asset. Alright, so back to the volume. What we care about is, like... Yeah. Is here. And then if we grab this water volume... Oh man, I wish there was a better... Oh, well, it is green, so in theory we could see it. Do this for now. Well, that's when it peaks out. Alright, just below peakage. I mean, in theory, this could be wide enough to come in here, but what I eventually want to do is when we come in and actually start working in this zone, is have this also start to curve. Hamad was like really specific on like, oh, what if we have this curve around so the river will start to curve and stuff. I know all this is just super rough placeholder here on the eastern bank, but alright, so let's take this. We'll do about so. Click on this guy, zoom out. We'll expand him a little bit more. Here. In Hura. Do that. And in theory, we've gone zone line to zone line with it, so. Boom, boom. Alright, so I mean, in theory, all of this should be good. I'm wondering... Hit save. I guess we could hop in and see. Ocean Crest. I think I actually had it toggled off before. I wonder if that was causing problems. It's even more placeholder towards the area I'm working. I know, because none of this shit existed a few days ago, huh? It's like, plop all that in. Trust me, I wasn't expecting... Oh, let me just fix this while I'm in here. Boom. That's weird that that one's goofy. I mean, there's even a... Oh. This is why I was turning that off. Because, Harrison, you told me, turn that off. Or it's gonna be a pain in your ass. Hope to find some desert bandit camps? You will find some desert bandit camps. You may even stumble into some cultists. Whoa. Cultists? Yes, cultists. There's a lot of cultists in our game. I just realized there's a lot of things to be culty about. We have a lot of reasons to form a cult in our game. So, water is like one 3D object, not like a 2D plane with complex math textures repeating. Nicodemus, I'm thinking it's more the latter than the former. I think it's just like a weird 2D texture that's stretched across. It's just one plane that's stretches into infinity that is then manipulated with splines and shit like that. It's programmer magic, also known as voodoo. Alright, I'm gonna hit save again and then let's hop in and see if this fixed it or if it's still jacked. It's not very niche. It's ultra niche if you're talking about all the different cultists. Every cult is a niche. You're probably making a joke that I'm not getting because I'm real bad at getting jokes. I'm too literal. Too freaking literal, guys. I just realized that it's been a while since anybody complimented me on my sultry radio voice, and so I was starting to wonder. I'm like, did something happen? Did the settings change? Am I speaking differently? What the frick, guys? I'm still in Telic here. Let's zone. Making a joke about a company being called Niche World's Cult and everybody in the game is in a cult. Ah, see, I knew it was a joke after I said all the things I said. I did change the audio settings like 6 months ago though, because I had 2 different people call me out for having too much damn bass in my EQ. Like, what are you doing? Alright. GM mode enabled. Let's go to scene. And see what we can see. Oh, it's water world all of a sudden. See, this is weird. Your voice is calming. I'm not sure I'd say radio. Radio is aggressive. Fair enough. Calming is enough of a... that's enough. I think that's what most people said, calming. I think some people conflate calming with radio, though. Perfect. Oh, that's all I need to hear. I'm good for the night. I just... That's enough to... reassure my fragile ego. Alright, yeah, so it's just this asset's being kind of wild. It goes for infinity. But if we lower it, there it is. So yeah, something's broken. So what we can do is log back out of here. then we can go back to Night Harbor Fields, soon to be renamed. And oh, another thing that I can do while I'm in here. I'll have to do it. I'll have to zone again in a second. So we got that water volume in. That's good. That should be helpful once we get this whole water thing figured out. I'm not quite sure if there's anything I can do for now. I mean, if I turn it off... Hey, Dreg. And I hit save. Then I hop back in. Let's see if it's actually turned off or if it just ignores that. And if it ignores it, then that's it. We're done playing with that for tonight because we're not going to really make any progress on it. So... Excuse me. And let's go here. Yep, so it's still doing its thing for some reason. So we'll log out and we will not screw with that anymore because that would be a waste of our time. So one thing that I want to do is I want to get a nice overhead view of glass flats. And maximize that. So that I've got a nice image to work with in looking at maybe how to fit all of the points of interest into the zone. And crop, file, save as. We'll just put this on the desktop. Glass flats, overhead. Cool. That'll be helpful. Because we've got a lot of stuff to try to get into the zone. And, man, I think it's going to need to be bigger. As big as it is, it's going to need to be bigger. And then we'll do some things to play around with line of sight and things like that as well. Dreg said, glad I can make it to a stream. Been having a blast on P99 Green. I'm glad. I forget, was that a new character that you're playing, or had you been playing and then stopped playing for a bit, or I forget what was going on there. For some reason I thought you were one of the people that had rolled a new one, but maybe I'm remembering that wrong. 60 Druid and 55 Enchanter. Clearly not a new one. I remember that wrong. Where was that seam? I swear we had a weird seam here. Oh, I know what's going on. Look at these overlapping. That's no good. So 60 Druid and 55 Enchanter. Dreg, have you been raiding a lot, or? Some raiding, some dungeon crawling, just having fun. That sounds like a good time. Harrison, lining these things up without connecting them is such a pain in the ass, dude. And I'm pretty sure this is why I was seeing a seam here earlier. Because of the way these overlap. Like these verts need to be perfectly aligned in order to not have a seam, right? I mean, that's pretty obvious. Oh, that's what was going on. All right. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I just need a PL loving robot and get him on some seb crawls. You want to power level my warrior? That would be wonderful. I don't know when that would happen, but it would be cool. I would definitely. I wouldn't shun the experience. Problem is I'm in this weirdo time zone. It's hard to play with folk. I mean, it's 9:51 p.m. for me right now. Rico, that is very nice of you to say. You know what I would find exciting is if a few of us smaller companies are able to do fairly well, right? Like, and by fairly well, I mean outrageously well, but not too much. If a few of us companies, you know, like us and VR and other folks out there getting into it, if we were able to do well and then kind of just do shit our way, that would be wonderful. I think it's having been in the industry for a couple decades now, I think it would be good for there to be some new successes with new takes, new styles. Sklar said it would be great to see small studios demonstrate successful MMO model. Yeah, I mean, and I think we've got to talk about success a little bit. Like, what does success mean? Right? To me, we don't need all the customers in order to be successful. You know, if we can basically have a profitable game with a team size that we're happy with, we don't need to be the most profitable thing, right? We're not, this isn't a competition. We're not trying to, you know, not looking to be Bobby Kotick or some shit. It's, I mean, hell. If we had a quarter of EverQuest's subscribers at its peak in 2003 or so, if we had a quarter of those subscribers, we would be massively successful. And then the question is like, what can we do with that success, right? Like, first of all, it's how do we reinvest in our game and our community? How do we take care of our team? And then, you know, how do we safely navigate making more products without abandoning the community and the product that brought us our success in the first place? And I think there's something to be said about just sort of staying core to the community and core to you know, the product that we set out to make, and core to ourselves. So Callahan11, thank you for resubbing. Ashiko, thank you for the follow. Just your opinion, I think you guys are successful now. I think developing code without crunch is a great thing. Should be applauded. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, so I feel like any effort that's going into the game right now from the bulk of the team is kind of crunch though, right? Because the team is, for the most part, dedicating their free time. They've got family, they got other jobs and stuff like that, right? So I think what would be, you know, successful is if we can get to a point where we can bring everybody on full time and pay them really nice competitive salaries. And I mean, just getting to the point where the team can just focus on the game will be massive, because the team's already kicking incredible amounts of ass with you know, essentially the time that they have to be able to allocate to the project, right? So, is this music that will be in the game? Sound is super important. There's so many sounds in EQ that hit a nerve, give such a nostalgic feeling. Yeah, so the music that we're listening to right now is, it's ours, it's original. The musician that is doing our sounds, like all of our audio, and our music, has got like multiple level 60s and multiple level 50 plus tunes on P99. He's also like a actual touring musician. He just started a new tour right now. He's based out of Finland, but he's a big EQ nerd as well, and so he definitely gets the nostalgic vibe when it comes to sounds and stuff. Trust me, we've already started doing some skeleton sounds and things like that. So let's see, I think I missed some stuff. Sklar said that's $1 million question. I think you're right, it doesn't have to be WoW scale, it can be a small studio, provide an interesting, engaging MMO with longevity that people can develop an attachment like original EQ did in the beginning. Yep. Excuse me. That's a wonderful goal, Beaver said. Thank you. AI 9000. Oh, hey. Glad you can make it in. I'm glad you joined our community. Zukin, I know, man. I feel bad. So one of the challenges with the approach is like just timing, and you know, if we found the right partner that would give us the right amount of cash with the right terms, and essentially just stay out of the team's way, and it allowed us to bring folks on full time, that would be great. But the challenge too is, like, before we can ask anybody to quit their job, like, we need to have some actual security. I don't think anybody should, oh my gosh, that's crazy, quit their job to join a project like this until there's quite a bit of war chest and security. Let's see. Yeah, we're progressing nicely. We're progressing nicely both with the whole volunteer thing in mind, and then also, like, you know, it's not like we're super hardcore on each other either, right? Like, we're not trying to alpha each other, who can put the most hours in or whatever. Man, doing this way is such a pain in the ass, Pattis. Oh, I wonder if this is what's going on. What if I do this one? Oh, the seam's still there. I wish I could just weld these seams together, Pattis. Why can't I just weld these two planes together, please? Let's see. What tools are you using for train editing? Is this Pro Builder? Yeah, I'm using Pro Builder. Was using Blender before this. I like the chunky terrain, and inside a zone you can weld them together. Well, what was the rationale for not being able to weld them together before? Now you tell me. Oh my gosh. And that came out stronger. It's planes from different zones you don't want to. Interesting. But I'm trying to think of where that would have been the case that it was a different zone. I want to start welding these shit. This is exciting to know that I can weld them. Planes from different zones. What would be an example of that, Harrison? In all seriousness. Zukin says, don't feel bad, dude. Don't want to rush that point or anything. Be cool. Will be cool to get there, but I don't think we should compromise the integrity of the plan because it's a good plan. Okay. All right, dude. I'll try not to feel too bad. You welded Night Harbor terrain to the new zone before. Interesting, but the way I would approach it, and so just to clarify, like when I made, so say this is actually partially, because this is still from the previous zone, but then I save all of this into a new zone, and then I cut everything that we're not using. So then it's, wouldn't it in theory be all one zone then? It's all in the same scene. You know what I mean? Oh man, it finally got warm in. Guys, I gotta admit something. I bought some new deodorant the other day at the store last week. Man, I love the smell of it. It's great. Kind of hippie. Got no aluminum in it. All walkable terrain within a zone can be one plane, no problem. All right. Yeah, I would have gotten closer to the camera for you, Dreg, but my wife won't let me near a deodorant that has. Oh, does she have problems with smells? My mom gets like crazy. She gets dizzy. She gets headaches and stuff like that from smells. All right, I'm gonna start welding these guys. I'm so excited right now. We can't use instant laundry detergent either. Yeah, my mom, man, anything can knock her out. Please add that to the list of voice lines. Don't give Zukin any ideas. If you watch Zukin's streams, you'll know he has me like pop up. He's got like a little cardboard cutout of me that pops up and says shit. Oh man. No respect. Oh, so Harrison, do I need to join these two objects first though? Because basically each one of these planes, before I start getting crazy in here, let me be real clear about what I'm doing. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planes in here. And all right, so then I'm going to merge these objects. Merge objects. Well, we got closer. It merged them into 2 objects. Merge objects. All right, it's telling me that these are going to be 2 objects. Merge objects. You son of a gun. Yeah, Pro Builder, sometimes it seems like I just gotta zone out and then back in, and it'll fix it. It's like, did you try turning it off and on again? I mean, what is this now? Alright, so everything I just did earlier, I'm gonna throw away anyway. So let's just leave the zone and come back. Because all that screwing with vertices earlier. Alright, so yeah, just do these 2 and then collapse the verts. Yep, alright, so let's do that. We're gonna merge these objects. Click off, click on again, they are merged. Let's start doing some cleaning up. And then where were we? We're along this seam. Oh, if I go to vert mode, then I should see it. Yep. But yeah, Sklar, tell your wife she is not alone. It got really bad for my mom. My mom, her last job before she retired, she worked at a Social Security office in Florida. And they wound up, they had like, they discovered that they had a mold problem in there, in the vents or something. And she had been sick forever prior to that. Your name is Shawn as well, just spelled differently? Yeah. Mine was supposed to be S-E-A-N, but my dad apparently did not clarify that with my mom before disappearing to basic training, which in the 70s was a slightly different experience than it is these days. So she decided to spell it the way she wanted to spell it. Ashy, yeah, I'm Pro Builder kind of feels like the Blender very light, but it's not bad, especially given the fact that it's boom, it's in editor. I haven't watched the Unreal video yet, Harrison. I was about to say it's clearly no Unreal 5, but come at it from the other side. Any other fragrance nerds out there? You have way too many. It's a hobby. It's a bottomless pit. Really? Tell me all about it. I need to learn about fragrance. I feel like I haven't really put enough emphasis on fragrance. Though the first day that I had this this deodorant, on one hand I liked the smell. On the other hand, I think I just didn't have enough water that day and too much caffeine, because I also got a headache from it. I was like, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to wear it. A lot of times I just don't like smells, and so I get rid of it. But I liked this, but I got a headache. And I realized later that it was just, I was probably dehydrated. I think I went for a run and then did not, I went from a run and then went straight into like drinking coffee that day and didn't have enough water. So the next day, same deodorant, no headache. Pretty seasonal, cold weather. Can use something a lot stronger. Summer, you want something pretty light, or you'll make everyone sick. Especially getting on the public transportation. Oh yeah. they finally, I've been in Germany for over a year now, and they've had mask mandates the whole time. Prior to that, I lived in Sweden where there were no mask mandates. So now I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna actually have to make sure I comb my beard if I'm going to the grocery store. Gotta smell good. Like, you could have stinky breath and stinky pits and stuff if everybody's wearing a mask. Be in the store. No one's gonna smell that. All they're smelling is their stank mouth. Alright, so these guys are good. You have a coworker who smells like he sprays an entire bottle of Axe on him every day. It drives you insane. Can smell him from rows away. Yeah, that's a rough one. Though I think it's less challenging to speak with that individual than it is sometimes when, you know, people just have like body odor problem or whatever. Because, you know, when it's a body odor problem, it can be a little difficult because you don't know what's going on. Like, what is their situation, you know? How is it scented? I like essential oils and hippie stuff nowadays. I don't know what the smell is like. It smells like dad's. It kind of smells like dad. Not like full Stetson, but it's got a bit of a dad smell to it, which I like. Every once in a while, there'll be like some really old dude that'll walk by me on the sidewalk or something out here, and they'll have like that aftershave smell. Boom. And it's just like, I'm like, damn. That old guy smells like I gotta step up my smell game. I want to smell like that old guy. I want to smell to other people like that old guy just smelled to me. Like nostalgic, like comforting. Comforting. Is this a pit stream? Yeah. Yeah, we'll get a new pit camera. You use Stetson? Yeah, alright. Well, Stetson's got that smell. It smells like dad. Am I wrong on that? I'm not saying it smells bad. It's the smell I'm seeking these days. Why did I move to Germany? The first time I moved to Germany is because I had taken like a year off. Like 2014-ish. Yeah, around 2014, I forget exactly. Around 2014, I took a year off and just like shot photos and stuff. Because I bought Bitcoin when it was like $15 a Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden it wasn't. And long story short, the project I was on just wasn't really going anywhere. It kind of stalled out. The creative director / co-founder left to start a new company. And things were just getting like slow. I was hired to work on a third MMO for a company, and they had two. I helped with the first two a little bit, and oh, you gotta go pick up your kids. Cotswold, be safe, have fun. Good to see you. Polo Green, that's one that'll knock you down. Shout out to all dads at Red Lobster on a Sunday. Oh man, Red Lobster. It's been a while. I wonder if the quality is what I remember from when I was a kid and we'd get to go to Red Lobster. We ate a seafood place in Stockholm a few weekends ago. Went to Stockholm just to eat and drink and get away from the mandates and stuff here. Not a political statement, just a statement. And we went to a seafood place last minute. It was the only one we could find that had an opening. It was not the best quality, but it was all right. It was it probably had some kitchen nightmares issues, but I don't want to think about that. I didn't get the shits the next day. No seafood poisoning or anything like that, so I can't complain too much. I I swear there was a seam over here that I needed to fix. No? Just me? I say kitchen nightmares because they even had like the weird stuff that Gordon Ramsay would always lose his shit about. Like if anybody, I guess if you get like a certain, you get a shrimp boat, which came with, I just like, give me the entire table full of seafood, please. So there's shrimp boat and there's like a weird, they've got like a weird pond in the middle of the, elevated pond in the middle of the restaurant with a boat that the guy was fixing as everybody was coming in. He's like getting new batteries in it or whatever. And when you order the shrimp boat, they give you a remote control to the boat. So you can actually navigate the boat from where they put the shrimp on it over to where you're sitting. If you're sitting on the edge there, I guess. It makes sense because the boat's not going to get out of the pond, right? Of course. So anyways, I navigated my shrimp over and I noticed that there was like some grandparents with a little girl and like a dad sitting at a table like way on the other side of the pond. Me, I've been day drinking anyway, so I'm like, as soon as I got my shrimp off the boat, I got up and ran over and gave the little girl the remote control. And so the grandparents are helping the little girl like navigate the boat around the pond for the next like 20 minutes, even if she didn't order shrimp. I figured she's gonna have a hell of a lot more fun with that boat than I was, so that's my story. I'm a surprisingly nice guy in real life. You'd be shocked. Especially if I've been drinking all day. Merge objects? We're good? No? Merge objects? No? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave and come back and see if that works. Save? Yes. Alright, so I lost my train of thought earlier. Why did I move to Germany? The first time I was telling you the situation hadn't worked in a while. Decided I should probably get another job in games since that seems to be what my resume is all about. No, they're not merging, dude. Is there a limit, do you think? At some point it's just, well, that wouldn't make sense because right now it's everything but this one, whereas before it divided in half. Yeah, but if there is a limit, then it wouldn't be so. Are industry jobs more than self-created projects? It depends. Depends on what you're looking to do. On your resume? I think, unless you've got like some really badass self-created projects, they're self-created, like your own projects are good for getting into the industry. Then you want some industry jobs to fill out your resume. And if you also have additional projects on top of that, or you take like a gap year or two like I'm doing to work on stuff, it translates back. Yeah, and like startups and things like that are fine on a resume, right? You know, if anything, they also show a degree of initiative and ambition and all that stuff, so. Huh. Well, this is weird. Shipped products. Shipped products are okay on a resume. They're good on a resume. But at least in my experience, games tend to ship less than you would think. So you can't really hold it against people. But there are definitely going to be times when you look at a resume and you're like, you've got no shipped products. Well, why is that? And so sometimes there's some splaining you have to do. You know, it's kind of like, I would say if you switch jobs every year, you have some explaining to do. But I know some pretty successful people that have changed jobs every year. And they've been at some really interesting companies, but they're also very good at selling themselves, and they could probably explain away a corpse to a cop, right? So, excuse me. So anyway, to answer the previous question, I was looking for a job and knew a friend of mine had worked at a company in Germany, and I decided I want to go to Germany. So I linked up with that company and decided to move to Germany. And my girlfriend at the time moved with me as part of that, just because she couldn't. We'd been dating for a while, and so we decided, all right, we'll just get married because otherwise she wouldn't have been able to stay in Germany with me. Got married, which then she moved back to the United States after a year because she did not like Germany as much as I did. And so then I stayed in Germany for 2 years. That was my contract. Contract renewal time, that really wasn't going to happen because the CEO at the time and I didn't really get along very well. He didn't like the way I ran my team, and I didn't like the way he ran the company. So we parted ways, and I got a job in Sweden for 3 years. During that time, a friend of mine who I'd been casually dating while I lived in Germany that last year, and then we dated long distance, and then we started like formally dating long distance. Oh my god, we flew so much. And then she moved to Germany, but she's German, and so then as we were wrapping things up in 2020 and then talking about this project and getting it started and all that, we decided to move back to Germany because she's a dentist, and so we got married, we moved to Germany. She's a dentist. She works at a clinic just near, like a block away, so it's perfect for us. And then I'm taking the time to work on the game. So that's my story. That's why I'm back in Germany. Why is this? If I do something weird, like, whoops, not that. If I go to object mode, is it not joining them because of the gap? That would be weird. Or the overlap? That just seems weird to me. Do you think the last object is scaled up too big to line up? Tell the story again? No, I can't tell the story again. You're gonna have to watch the VOD. How dare you? Yeah, this is a very long way of saying it. Lots of beer in Germany. Do people drink while working? Kind of like 60s in America? Like in TV show Mad Men. At the German company I worked at, we had beer nights on Thursday where they would unlock like 6 giant refrigerator coolers, and we would drink way too much, and Fridays were often very, very rough. Yeah, there's a lot of beer here. Aaron! Good to see you. Thank you for 4 months. My wife is a dental surgeon, so it's even worse. Not only could she pull my teeth out, she can also cut them out, which is disgusting. Yeah, I mean, like drinking a beer at work or whatever, I don't know that it would have been that weird there. But it's not like it was in the 80s. They had a beer vending machine in the barracks my dad was stationed at. Oh, and the reason why I wanted to come to Germany in 2014 or 15, whenever it was because when I was a kid, I lived in Germany moved here the first time when I was age like 2. Went back to the US for a year when I was 7. And then came back and lived here from like age like 8-ish to 11-ish. And then moved back to the US, and I hadn't been back to Germany except for one trip to the Leipzig game convention in like 2005. And I missed Germany and wanted to move back because Germany was pretty rad. This is so weird. All right. So shut that off. It's now it's just not even letting. Why are you doing this to me? Just merge, fool. Alright, well, I guess I can just manually try to clean this shit up then. It worked well enough in the other zones. Alright, so grab this one. Zukin said having a beer or something during lunch isn't unheard of at my company. It's Silicon Valley tech company, so whatever, right? I remember this one guy who had just started it and he was real into it though. Very eager to crack open a bottle. He didn't last. It's like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. We had a bit of that on DC Universe, because we were crunching so much that, I mean, if you're eating all your meals at work after like 6 p.m. or whatever, 7 p.m., if you decide to get a beer or two while you're working, screw it. Irish, thank you. Ollie made these a long time ago as an experiment, and I think he just nailed it. Hired a kid at a bank that was being around the I hired a kid at a bank that was being around the freedom to eat free candy for the first time in his life without his parents around to say no. It was wild. He was eating dum-dums like the Tootsie Pop. Wow. How old was this kid? He was so excited to get free candy. When I first got to Variant, before it was even Sony Online, they had free sodas in the break room. And right as I got there, they were ending the free soda policy because people were grabbing like a 6-pack and then leaving for the night with free soda. They would just take it home. And so they were like, sorry, no more free soda. And then by the time Lachlan rolled around, one of the guys on EQ2, I don't remember his name, had a connect at Red Bull. And so the Red Bull truck would come drop off like pallets of Red Bull, and they were stacked in his office. So forever after that, Red Bull smells like game development to me. My wife hates it though. She hates the smell. Cool employee policies always get snuffed out by one or two idiots. Yeah, I agree. I think the move there would have just been like, hey guys, company notice, please don't do this, and then let them know the next person we catch doing this, we're going to fire you publicly. there's always that weird behavior where I'm like, I don't know how to explain that kind of behavior. Where does that come from? How do you do something like that? And if you're one of those people, you don't have to tell us, but I wish there was some way, you know, because you don't want to out yourself, but I wish there was some way that somebody could communicate, like, the motivation. There was a company notice, Sam, stop taking home sodas, thanks. That's also a way to do it. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Same thing happened for us, Zukin said. We used to get dinner ordered if you were staying late, but people would get food and head home. I've seen that before as well. Oh my god, dude. That is such a bummer. Because then you've got people that are like crunching. And so, because then you're not just taking the company's money, you're kind of shitting on your fellow man. So they changed it so they had to be staying a certain amount of hours to qualify for it. Yeah, I mean, I worked when I worked at King's Isle. I think we had a little bit of that, and then I was producer on a game that ultimately never. That's the one that stalled, and I went. Took the year off, but the associate producer, I forget if Reno is associate or assistant producer. Anyways, my office mate and partner in crime, she was awesome, and she was tiny, but she's a aspiring stand-up comedian, and just hilariously direct. And we had some people that were like doing that where they would get a meal order for them and then they would leave with the meal, and she'd just go up and straight up call them out for it. She's like, hey, so and so, you realize that's some bullshit, right? Dude, she's like this tall. Like, oh my god, she was hilarious, man. So you have this like tiny Hispanic woman's. Sometimes she'd wear like her hair's real curly, like these Afro puffs or whatever. So you got this little just tiny Afro puffs coming at you, calling you out, saying, "You realize this is some bullshit, right?" Or people would try to get too crazy with their orders. She'd be like, how about you just eat what I get you? Man, I miss her. I gotta check in on her. She's pretty fantastic. Trying to think of what NWC rule I would undo. No more dev streams, effective immediately. What? You don't want us to stream anymore? What's up with that, Belfaster? I'm sorry. Watch Zukin streams. He's funnier than I am. He's better at it. I'd say watch Harrison streams, but he's sick, so you can't do that right now. Oh, your actions would... Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, if you're in the company, what would you get in trouble for streaming? Yeah, probably. Do you have a potty mouth? Is that what's up? I try to keep my language... Guys, I curse so much normally. But I try to keep my language clean for you guys. Sometimes if we have like team huddles, like team voice chats, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but sometimes I curse a lot during those team voice chats. I'm like, oh shit, these guys really don't hear me talk normally. I hope they don't think I'm like mad or something. Free stuff doesn't work in Ireland. Things go missing all the time. I can imagine. I can imagine. My family thinks they're Irish, so I can make fun of you. Are Irish people highly aware of the American Irish phenomenon? I really wish these guys would just merge. Alright. Is there any visible seam here? No? Okay. No, I don't get banned from any chats or anything. I try not to ever be, you know, like super mean or anything, but I do curse a lot when I get excited. Had people at work take home tables, toasters, even chairs? Holy shit. You sound really Irish. I think we're gonna the problem is, I think we've got to make this zone even bigger, unfortunately. So... You've done all of that? So what, do you think you're bad now? Mr. the Cow. No, I'm not judging. I'm not judging. I didn't say bad, I said Irish. I said you sound really Irish. Did I say bad? I might have said bad. Probably thought bad. No, I don't think anything worse of you. I'm trying to remember if I ever did any of that shit when I was younger. Probably did. So I don't want to speak too ill of you. I probably did some wacky stuff like that. I kind of wanted to when I was in the army. I wouldn't have mind taking my M60 home with me. When I got out, that'd be good. Hey, the Snick. How are you doing? What part of Eastern Europe are you? Personally, are you an actual part of Eastern Europe? Because the way I just said that made it sound like it. Had an employee try to get others to join him in abusing our unlimited PTO policy to basically subvert the company priorities to work on his pet project. Yeah, that's not great. That's not a great thing. That person probably needs a different job. Hanging out in Lithuania. Well, it's interesting. I've never, when I hear Eastern Europe, I don't think Lithuania. For whatever reason, if I hear Lithuania, I just think Baltic state. Is that the wrong classification? Hanging out in Norway? Norway's not a bad spot. Norway is like a little chill Sweden. Like, I've only been to Oslo, but it seemed like a smaller, more chill Stockholm. Norway's nice. I like Norway and Sweden a lot. What was my MOS in the army? In theory, I was 11B, 1P. 11 Bravo, 1 Papa. Most of the time they're going to toss stuff in the trash because the Navy is so wasteful they throw away perfectly good stuff. Oh, I could see that. And I mean, if you're taking stuff from the Navy, that's fine. You essentially paid for it, right? You're a taxpayer. Oh, you're just an arrogant American? Ignorant American. Or probably arrogant as well if you're American. We do have a bit of arrogance, which is good. People like it. Until they don't. Yeah, I wasn't really airborne though. That's why I said in theory. In theory. So, I went into the army to go airborne. I wanted to basically. I went in, and when I went to my recruiter, he was like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "I want to be a ranger." My dad was at the time he was wrapping up his 20, and he was an air assault instructor at Fort Rucker, Alabama. And so I thought I wanted to be high speed and become a ranger. And looking back, I mean, I don't have any regrets in life, but if I was able to lead an alternate life and be aware of it and maintain my current life as well, I probably would have stayed in and screwed around a bit more with stuff. But yeah, so I went in, I got a ranger contract. All that means is, I guess, I was guaranteed airborne school when I got out of AIT. And I mean, I was infantry, so it was like OSIT, one-stop unit training at the time. I mean, guys, this was also 94. So I got to basic training at Fort Benning. And during basic, before it goes into AIT phase, I had a recruiter from the old guard do his spiel, you know, as the right height and weight and good test scores and all that stuff. Ashy, see you. And so, yeah, I called my dad and asked him which one would be better for my career if I stayed in. And they said, if you go to the old guard, you can pretty much go to whatever school you want to afterwards. If you don't go to the school while you're in there, we had a lot of access to schools. Oh, you're saying peace to who's that? Where? Yeah. Oh, such a cool time for you to head out. Wi-Fi Grow, keep rocking. Hey, thank you very much. I'm glad you came and hung out, chilled out with us. It's good to see you. I'm also not in LTU Lithuania by choice. Here now in deployment. Was recently in the news about it. Americans can. Oh yeah. Are you American military? The SNEC? Yeah, haven't we talked about that before? But you saying you're in Lithuania threw me. Yeah, we've moved a bunch of folks over here. Especially to them Baltic states. Mm-hmm. This particular song, Dargath, would be a song that you hear in the deep. One of our deep zones are. We'll have to get a real name for that zone. But essentially, we have a underworld that runs along the continent as well. The deep zones are gonna put you to sleep for sure. Yeah. Alright, so I guess I've kind of got this stuff cleaned up. Yeah, well, good luck out there in Lithuania. You are right there on the edge. I'm not going to get into the current events or politics or any of that shit. I never do that in here just because it has a tendency to go sideways. And I think on a lot of that stuff, It's just too difficult. It's too difficult to get everybody to be nice with each other, so we'll avoid it, but I'll just say I keep up with that stuff quite thoroughly, and all I got to say is be safe out there. May we live in interesting times. Yeah. Well, seems like that has happened. Alright. Can I merge these guys now? I can. Freaking gnomes. Zone I'm working in gives you some strong Soul Row vibes. Yeah. All our desert zones are very nostalgic to folks. I blame Ollie's wonderful textures and Harrison's wonderful mountain pieces, and you know, my geo's not necessarily distracting from that either. I watched 1883. I highly recommend it. Deadwood adjacent in its style. I haven't. Is it a movie or show? Sklar, how long were you in the Navy that you got out in '94? Tell me that you retired. That'd be awesome. I was in the Navy for 20 years, got out in '94. 7 years. Still dope. Alright, Goblin's gonna take over. We'll go to 11 o'clock. So Goblin's gonna take over on the hour. We're gonna pop over to Goblin's stream and you can watch some beautiful concept art. Goblin, what are you concepting tonight? Alright. Sounds good. Getting some inspiration for Night Harbor through the identification of the various racial themes. Dig it. Here, let me do this. Snake, enjoy your nap. Got this, we got this. You can follow Goblin here. Yeah, he's in chat as well, so you can like click on him and stuff. You guys are seeing a really exciting work tonight, but those of you that came in early and saw the different zones and we ran around a little bit. You guys got the good show. Everybody else is just watching me collapse verts. It's how it rolls sometimes though, but being, doing stuff like this gives us wonderful opportunity to talk about fun shit. Thank you, Keith. Nice. Yeah, I like chatting with you guys too. A lot of fun. One thing that I need to reiterate is there's a lot of work that's going to be going into these zones. So keep in mind as you're looking, this is just the beginning. This is the very, very beginning. Joined the Navy in 97, got out in 2011. Nice. If you ever come to Lithuania, it reminds you of the Midwest, lots of farms. Countryside, like just walking 2 minutes outside of Stockholm, which wasn't hard to do where we lived. Yeah, it's super Midwest as well. It's funny, I think my friends back in Alabama would love Sweden, man. It's everybody's driving big ass trucks. It's like everybody's either driving a big ass truck or a Tesla, or a Volvo. They've got a hunting culture. Everybody's got snus, so they all dip tobacco. Everybody, women, men, white collar folks, construction workers, everybody's got snus. I wouldn't think Stockholm is Midwest like. So, no, Stockholm itself is like, you know, it's just kind of European city with some Viking vibes. Nice old architecture because no one's blown it up. That's one of the problems with Northern Europe. If you go to like Northern Germany, it's a lot of stuff's been either rebuilt or new because, well, we blew a lot of that stuff up during World War II. If you go to southern Germany, then you get to see like the original castles and stuff, which is cool. But Stockholm was not really affected by any of that. So we've got some nice old architecture. Oops. And then what else can I say about it? But then if you walk outside, like if you walk, it's very hilly. It's on the water, but it's very rocky. And so a lot of elevation changes just in Stockholm. But then when you get right outside of Stockholm, like if you're in Sweden proper, which we lived fairly center in town, but it was still 5-10 minute walk down to the park. And then when you get out, it's like red barns everywhere. If you Google like Sweden red barn, they paint everything this red, and it just reminds me of like the Midwest. Reminds me of like Ohio and everything to the left. Oh, sorry, Bill Faster. So yeah, it's pretty dope. We went back on the weekend of the 19th for my birthday. And I know about Ohio barns, man. I have great grandparents lived in Lynx, Ohio. Went to my great grandfather's tobacco farm. He had an outhouse, man. Went there in like the late 80s, and I still had to go outside and shit in an outhouse. Then I think one of his granddaughters or whatever, or no, one of his daughters or whatever had a house right up the hill, and it was all modern. It was cool. Oh man. You're in Ohio. Snex, Ohio. Harrison is Ohio. Bunny, when she was here, she was Ohio. Lynx is very south. It's basically Kentucky. Really? I haven't looked on a map. Or at least not any time recently. That might explain why it was easy to get there from Fort Campbell, Kentucky. So Jasmine and I have been saying that we want to move to Wyoming. And a friend she made on Instagram, some CrossFit woman, lives in Montana, and both Montana and Wyoming look awesome. I'd love to live out that way. Be able to go snowboarding and hiking depending on the season. I really enjoyed, but I wouldn't want to live in Austria, and it was super expensive and blah blah blah. But I enjoyed St. Anton, Austria. I went snowboarding there a few years ago. I'd love to live someplace like that. Yeah, Wyoming seems like it'd be the place. So we're looking around. If the day ever comes that we can move, we definitely, Wyoming's on the list. Not a lot of people, plenty of guns. Niche World's cult is actually based out of Wyoming. We are a Wyoming LLC. Belfaster, exactly. I want the most rural place I can get, far away from HOAs, but with the fastest internet possible. Exactly. Esan said, been trying to find my screenshot of the, as you said, Velia stays and the Red Bull cases in the office. I'll find it someday, I guess, but that was a fun memory of long ago. Yeah, that office was legendary. Drake said family in northern Utah, West Wyoming. Yep. Why Wyoming? Good outdoor sports. As Drake was just saying, Jasmine and I both love just hiking, and she's never gone mountain biking. I loved mountain biking when I lived in San Diego, and loved snowboarding. As for as rural as Montana and Wyoming is, they've got fiber everywhere. Badass. I'm a big fan of firearms. I've always been around them. I mean, my family, I was born in Florida, and I've got a lot of Florida style family, and then my dad was in the army, and then I was in the army, and so I like the idea of being able to own and maintain and operate firearms. Again, not here for the politics. You just asked me a question, I'm telling you. I like the idea of there not being a ton of people in a state, and yet there still being access to good stuff. Like being able to go into town and have good shit. I think our lifestyle would be a lot different than it is now, though. Like, I tend to go shopping every 1 to 2 days. Arizona seems okay. I think I would like most of Arizona, especially the heat. I'm a fan of hot. But I don't think Jasmine would be able to live through it. Well, that's not true. I mean, she's been some gnarlier places than I have at times. Yeah, I mean, everything I've seen from Arizona looks pretty fantastic. Do you guys have snow in Arizona anywhere? You got mountains, right? Northern does. Cool. Belfaster, I have not seen the Alpinist. We'll take a look for it. Yeah, so we're looking around. One of these days I'll probably get back to the US. We'll kind of see how things go. I'm a big fan of freedom and self-reliance and personal autonomy. So, and Jasmine is as well. We like people, but we also like for people to leave us alone. So, that's one of those things where I think for us, the perfect situation would be Because, you know, she's a dental surgeon, but she likes it okay, but it's not like her true passion in life. And so I think if we could basically be in a situation where we got good internet connectivity, and can continue to do this in the same way, if not more, and be able to live somewhere where then we're able to, you know, the dream is for us to be successful enough that this is the full-time thing and it's taking care of the team and taking care of us well, and then we're able to, you know, have the cash and opportunity to be like, Jasmine doesn't have to work again, and then we can just go, hey, all right, you know, guys, I'm gonna be a little quiet on my end. We're gonna go snowboarding for 4 or 5 days and then come back, or gonna go camping or whatever. Yeah, don't worry. I've gotten that stuff out of my system. We're getting late. We're already past time. Remind me next time. I'll tell you about my adventures of buying a bus. During that year that I took off in Texas before moving to Germany, I bought a 1984 Bluebird executive coach, a 40-ton beast of a metal bus, and moved into it for a few months. But that's the story for another time. So I've gotten that shit out of my system. Don't you worry. It is 11 o'clock. And it is time for me to move on. And basically, we're going to raid Goblin so we can continue with the Eminem theme. And you can tune into the chill vibes of Goblin as he does some Bob Ross painting for you. And it's extremely chill because he's Canadian. Arizona is a great 2A state too, by the way. Yep, it's true. It's true. Don't worry. I'm aware. Alright, so we're going to raid. You guys stick around for the raid, and then I'm going to see you on Thursday, and we're going to have some more of this fixed from a technical standpoint. Hopefully we can run around smoothly. And I'll probably have some points of interest in here and some more zones added. We've got at least one more zone to add, so. You guys, thanks for hanging out. You've been fantastic. You're good peoples. We'll chat more on Thursday. Let's set this raid up. Siasu! Make every name sound Japanese for some reason. Anyway, thank you for the follow. I'm trying to find the frickin' raid button. Raid channel. Alright. Raid channel. The Goblin. The Goblin work. There he is. You can use /raid command too. Oh, thank you. I'll do that next time. Bisbee, thank you for the follow. We're raiding now. Everybody hang in, hang out. Let's start this raid. Alright, ready to raid now.